Was Drip forced to mint rewards? What the hell does that even mean? Welcome back to the channel where we build financial power. My name is Matt, and this is
Potter.
If you are new to this here channel, every Thursday, Friday, we go live 10 Eastern talking about this wonderful, trippy world of DeFi. Fridays, we typically talk about this little concept called Drip. It is a DeFi project that Potter and I are involved in. This is not financial advice. This is just our documentation of our learning and going through this. Potter is a seasoned, weathered war veteran of DeFi, and I'm sort of like the private first class.
Yeah, there you go. He got upgraded.
Line,
That's right.
I've got the rifle and I've gone through basic training, but damn, I'm still taking shrapnel like everybody else right now. We want to talk about Drip. It's a deflationary daily 1% ROI platform, and it's been falling for quite some time in price, just like everything else. But the cool thing about this project, and I want to throw this out here. Everything in DeFi could be gone tomorrow. But of every single project that I'm in, that Potter and I've talked about, that I've looked at, this is the only project that I'm like, there's a glimmering hope out in the distance. That it is the one for me, because I understand it the most. I've been in it the longest, all that. I mean, for me, I'm not saying not saying go join it, not saying jumping in it. That's just sort of the feelings that I have about it and my experience from it. But we want to talk about the concept of it minting rewards. Well, did it do that? What does that mean? Potter, let's get just explain quickly 1% ROI. What does that even mean to somebody that knows nothing about it?
Well, it's like a certificate of deposit or a CD. If you put in the CD for a certain amount at a bank, they say, hey, we're going to pay you X amount of interest per year on that, not daily. So in short, that's what the 1% is.
Yep. The beautiful thing about this is that 1% that you're going to get from a bank annually, you're getting this from Drip per day, that 1% per day. So that's what that is. Now, there is, let's see, I have not done my numbers for this morning. I did them yesterday. I usually do them a little bit later. But there is 116, maybe 117,000 people in Drip as we speak. And the supply, how many tokens are out there, is it around 188? If I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken.
Right now.
So as she's looking that up, what that means is the more people that are in it, typically the supply is going to be lower. Typically, but not necessarily. If all of these 188,000 people are getting rewards every single day, and the value of that coin starts to drop, and then you're minting rewards, it's kind of like, how do you continue to mint these, or how do you continue to hand out these 1% ROI rewards to all of these people? Because there are people making hundreds and thousands of dollars a day, and some people making dollars and cents a day.
Right.
So this is an emergent. It's basically an emergent minting rewards if the value has plummeted, and it's something that has never happened, and we want to talk about that. So did it happen?
Right. So you're right. It's still about 117,000. They're 70 shy of 117,000.
There you go.
And so from what I understand, and people feel free to correct us as always, is that the reason it printed was because there wasn't enough Drip to give out to pay rewards.
Yep.
And so, unlike most systems, Drip is the only system I know of that has an ecosystem that says, hey, here's where we'll get it. You know, we won't just make it up. We won't just print it out of nowhere. Well, I guess they did print it out of nowhere. But it will have an economic impact onto the internal ecosystem of Drip. Did that make sense?
It does. And where my head goes is this. So if if we are in such an emergent state that, and the beauty of what drip is that it is deflationary, meaning that there's only a finite amount and that they're not going to keep printing. And if you're watching this, I'm sure you have a basic understanding of how the US, we just keep printing money, and that is inflation. We just print money, and then the value of that dollar goes down. The concept of drip is that we don't do that. So it is not inflationary. But when we have to mint these rewards, the answer is yes, it happened. We could only hold it for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, the answer for you. Yes, it just recently happened because things are in such a bear market. And it stopped. It has since stopped. It only had to happen for a little while. The point there is that everything got so low, we had to start becoming a little bit inflationary by minting those rewards out. It's a good thing because it is a fail-safe ultimately, and it worked. So I look at that as like, wow, it's a feature I've heard about, don't really know about, and it happened, and it protected and sort of hedged the bloodbath that is right now. I guess in my head, because I don't know, I've never been here, what does that mean though, Potter? Like if they let's just say they printed 300,000, let's just say 100.
They printed 686,000 more drip.
Okay, so 686,000 more drip came out of thin air. They printed that. So now my question is, do they just keep that in circulation? Is it inflated it forever?
If you get the supply down, I'm sure there's a way that Forex could burn, but he's trying not to touch the ecosystem. Unlike other people who are like, oh no, because they don't have a choice. They don't want to see it go to zero.
Yeah.
Like when we were talking about my diamond team yesterday, they cannot afford for it to go to zero. They'll be done. Whereas drip, it might have a fighting chance if that ever happened, but he's got so many mechanisms that it is against it that he doesn't have to engage it. The man built a real smart system. It's the best in breed.
So there isn't it doesn't sound like there really is a automatic burning mechanism once the price of the actual coin gets back to a certain point or anything. It's sort of, okay, that's uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you institute that, sorry, I'm so immature.
That's great.
If you institute that, it's likely that it's new, and so there's going to be somebody who finds a vulnerability in it. So you have to be very careful.
Okay.
Why would he introduce a new level of something that's, hey guys, this is great for the protocol. Hey guys, by doing that, I opened the back door for somebody to use this exploit that I could have never seen unless I did this.
Good job. You just took a oh shit moment out of my head. So good job. That makes a lot of sense. Got it.
Yeah. So it's working, and it's a lot of people are like, well guys,
that's the end.
Once drip prints,
it's over.
I'm going to change the name of my channel. But as you could see, Forex is like, and it's hard to trust somebody in this environment. I mean, people love Do Kwon. People thought that he was the messiah of crypto. They were replacing him with Satoshi. And now after Terra Luna crashed, the guy can't even buy a loaf of bread without somebody spitting at him.
Do Kwon is the person that made Terra Luna?
He's the CEO.
There you go. Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. So basically we're in uncharted territory. This has never happened. And my head goes to two different places. The non-emotional objective side is like, all right, we get to see, does this feature that I've heard about work? Does it actually happen? It's been deployed and we've actually been through it. The more you go through, the more you learn. So that side of me is like, awesome.
Yeah.
The emotional side is like, okay, well, yeah, that worked, but there's really it's not finite. It's sort of like up to Forex and BB, the developers of this project, to sort of see what happens next. And hey, I trust their judgment on their token and project more than my own, but that's interesting. And that's a little shaky, but interesting.
Look what it took though, Matt. Look what it took to engage this. The worst downturn in the economy that has been seen for 2 decades. It took a 20-year bombardment of all bad
Mm-hmm.
for this thing to have to print.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
while everybody else was dying,
Mm-hmm.
drip was green.
Yeah.
And the only reason drip wasn't mooning was because it was paired with B&B, which was
Which B&B is down
it
quite a
went
bit.
down
Yeah.
24, 30%,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so you can't, with that impermanent loss in the LP
Mm-hmm.
pair, they
Yeah.
can't offset each other. So one just
Yep.
drags it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
What?
So it's it just proves the resilience of the system.
Yeah. Yeah. I say all that to say, like, really, and I've said this a billion times, but really trying to separate the objective workings of whatever this crypto coin is, the community, the developers. There's that side, and then there is this emotional side. We all have emotions, whether we want to or not. I don't care. You could be this most stone cold person and money there is. You do have emotion. I mean, if you are human, you do have emotion. And something that has always been said about drip since day one, since Potter first told me about it, since I've seen any sort of content on anyone, it's anyone that's, I guess, knowledgeable about drip, is the price doesn't matter. And maybe, what do you think? Like 95% of that is accurate.
It really is. It really is. The 5% is for the mental capacity as a human, to go, this hurts.
Yeah, well, and like, because currently drip is at 10, 11-ish as we speak, and a few months, like 3, 4, now beginning of the year, January, it was at 197. So, that price difference obviously changes quite a bit of things. But at the end of the day, I'm in this because of the ROI that it's bringing per day. It's not like I'm waiting on the price to fluctuate, go up or down. The longer you're in it, the more you're making. But so we have said it on this channel, the price doesn't matter. That is about 95% accurate. If it goes to 0, then we got some problems. But
right, and this is what's good about this. There was nobody who was comfortable with the price going that low. It's just like when you put a house on the market, your house is gone when it's the right price.
Yeah,
there'll be multiple bids on it.
Yeah.
But when it's not the right price, the bids just keep dropping and dropping.
Yep.
What happened when drip hit that $10 mark? We're like, oh no, here we go to 5. People were like, oh no.
Yeah.
they were softening up that drip.
Correct. Yeah.
During a horrible part of the recession, or this catastrophic financial event that we're having, planetary impact that is happening right now financially.
Yeah.
It was still surviving because people were like, I'm buying this. It's making me money. And even the little guys are like, I'm making $1 a day. I was that person.
Yep.
Right. And now I have 3,400
total drip.
Right. So I'm getting 1% of 3,400 a day. That means that in about a month, people under me are going to be very happy people because I'm going to be like, I'm not going to spend it. I don't need that much.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to start claiming because I'm just going to collect it and spend it when I need to.
Yeah.
So even that kind of changed who I am. I forget why I went there, but
no, that's all right.
But it is important when you look at it as this the system that can provide you some level of assurance that you have something in crypto is worth some level of value, and if needed, depending on the circumstance and the timing and the situation, you can pull that money out to pay yourself. Which if you go to Stunna's crypto winner circle, you'll see a lot of things that people buy that are so cool. One guy bought a warehouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's like, I was able to expand my business. This is my new warehouse.
That's rad. You hadn't told me about that yet.
Yeah.
Well, so let's take a little bit of a transition for the last 5-ish minutes of the show. So everybody likes to talk about what's going to drive the price up, and there's been a billion things with the network that is Drip and Forex and BB and Animal Farm and all that. If you don't know, Animal Farm is another project by Forex and BB, same makers of Drip. And Animal Farm's had a bit of a rough time of launch and relaunch and this and that, and they finally have their legs underneath them and they're launching a few things. But there are certain aspects within the Animal Farm that I don't even care about what the date may be, that is to come, that is going to create demand that ultimately will be supporting drip. So, yeah,
I didn't understand the last part.
So something is going to cause people to buy drip.
Yes.
That's what I'm wanting to highlight. Okay. There you go.
Yes. Like we talked about last week with the opening of the mall, once more stores are open.
So this is our analogy of what Animal Farm is. It's basically
correct.
A big mall.
Once Animal Farm is open, drip buy pressure will be on drip, because drip is in one of the important farms, as well as Forex and BB have redesigned the architecture to support that pigs will also have an impact on drip. Not super clear on what that is, but yeah, when it turns back on, whenever that is, we were thinking it was going to be next week, but there have been zero indications that there's a launch scheduled at any future moment.
Well, and so Cole said, "Yay, would love to hear you guys dive into the Animal Farm." And we have talked about it a little bit on some past shows, and I'll be flat out honest with you. I have one little spot in Animal Farm with the piggy bank, but there's just so much uncertainty currently that I feel like it's really difficult to get in there and assess and whatnot. Potter, I know you're in it deep, but like, what about these scratch off tickets that I keep hearing? Like, there's going to be some scratchies or scratch off tickets that's ultimately people buying drip to get these scratch off tickets. Is that correct?
Yeah. And let me go right back to Cole real quick.
Sure.
Cole, there's a whole show called, where did we laugh about the name? Animal Farm or Mall of Horrors.
There you go. Yep.
That one we go really through it. So.
Yeah, that was last week. Yep.
The scratch off game, when the B&B miner came back to life, they were just, Big Beans was like taking off, and they were like, they sold our code, guys, and then they just started playing games. They were like, hey, if you deposit yada yada, we'll give you X, and that brought life back to it. As you can see, well, no, you're not in it, but it's gone up 2,000 B&B in the past month, I think.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Hey, dude, you might want to dabble. And they started it by just playing games. People love games. People can call crypto DeFi. It's really gaming for us who are not borrowing and lending, right? If we're playing a game like Drip or Splasset or the miner game, these are truly games. This is not, okay, I'm going to, well, at least not yet, I'm going to get my Drip here and I'm going to lend it out, or, it's nothing like that. Okay. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. And, ultimately, I've just heard a little bit in passing, and I mean this with no shade, but I haven't delved into Animal Farm as a whole a lot, because of there's been a stop and start and all that, and again, no shade, but I'm already still learning, and it seems like a real complicated project. You really have to put a lot of time and effort into it. It doesn't seem like everything's launched, and there's a bunch of announcements that haven't happened. So I'm a little bit reluctant to dive in right now. And even though there's a big possibility I'm probably missing out on money, I think for my brain, the complexity, and then some of the community aspects of it's not launching and all that, for me, I know my brain, if I want to be in this for longer, if I want to create consistency in this market, I have to abide by my own brain and know that I have these limits. I could dive into every project and be like, I'm gonna learn everything, and then I'd burn the hell out and be like, screw DeFi, it's over.
Well, what you just described is a superpower. Some people cannot control that. They're like, no, this is gonna be the one. I don't want to miss out. FUD, every decision. And I hope everybody takes this, even though we say it's not, financial advice. Every time I've fudded, mistake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just some stupid mistake that
FOMO
we didn't think
or
of.
FOMO or fudded?
Yeah. I'm sorry, FOMO. My bad.
Yeah.
FOMO. Sometimes, FUD can do the same thing.
Sure.
You can say, "Oh my God, I'm an idiot. I need to get out." Whenever you're just doing something emotionally.
Yeah.
Whenever I have done anything emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
always a mistake to the point where I literally just stop myself now. I won't do it. I'm like, I do what you just did. No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this. It'll work against me.
Yeah.
And so I know that the animal farm is complicated enough.
Sure.
That, when I was showing you the numbers, I was like, "Oh, this is so good, blah, blah, blah." And you're like,
what the hell?
If you did get in and you saw the same thing,
Mm.
you would be like, this is so bad. Look, every day I look and the pig's price just keeps going down.
Yeah.
And that would be factual.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but nobody understands how to use it yet.
Correct.
And they understand this is basically avarice,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're gonna come in.
Yeah.
And just like the garden, how everybody was going out of that, and they don't even realize it's the biggest miner, on BSC, and it's paying. So but if you just look at it as far as how much you were getting the day before, you're gonna be, "Oh, this is horrible."
Right. It's perspective.
So you're right. You have to do what's comfortable for you,
Mm-hmm.
not what the influencer's saying, not what the Telegram or Discord are saying. What you say, I can go to sleep at night.
Exactly. Yep. That is, as of right now, where we're at with this channel. That's the ultimate message we're trying to bring forward, building this financial power, and the aspects behind it of not necessarily which play to jump into. It's not to say we never will get into that. I believe we will at some point, but we want to talk about those pieces of, like the emotion behind it and how you're going to be here long term. And ultimately, we don't want to tell you to trust us. We want to show through our actions, what we do and what we talk about, that that's how we build trust with you. Do not trust us. Just watch our actions.
Right. We only have the information that we read and that's given out to us.
Yep, that's right.
I just even discovered, Matt. How I was, applauding the changing of a contract.
Mm-hmm.
Where I only had to click a button.
Migration. Yeah.
Those are called proxy contracts, and they are a bonus. But the negative is, I found out yesterday, and we'll go into it on another show.
Mm-hmm.
Can't see the code.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Defeats the purpose of DeFi. So, going back to the things where I'm adding that we're putting a list together of things that we want to ask, developers or an ecosystem, because working for Accenture and Ernst & Young, I did cyber assessments across the globe on Europe, Asia, Europe, North America, Puerto Rico, okay, very place with water. And so I'm able to transfer my knowledge and understanding of asking what I would ask a $1 billion company, what I would ask a mom and pop startup company, and questions that are fair and that we can give feedback on. Here's their answer. This doesn't mean that they're going to go to the moon. This doesn't mean that they're going to fail tomorrow, but you're more informed.
Yeah.
And we even pivoted on, if somebody really wants to, be in a play that we're in, we're not going to include a link. You have to send us an email. Because you have to be like so sure that you want to be a referral that we're not going to make it easy. And we think that 99.9% of the people won't do that. So, but we pivoted though. We were saying no.
We shall see. We shall see. I mean, we shall see. 100%. We shall see.
So I hope that other part wasn't confusing about, what you found, that being a question that we need to incorporate into asking. I'm sorry, what I said about proxies. That needs to be a question. If a developer is launching and they say, okay, we're launching. Well, the first contract wasn't a proxy, but we can pretty much be assured that if this is a new technology, somebody's going to find an exploit.
Yeah.
Yep. And then when you roll it out again, do you have any plans for a proxy? If you have plans for a proxy, how are you going to expose the code to us? Are you going to check it into GitHub?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to tell us that Hayes audit did an audit on it?
Yep.
So
Every Thursday, Friday, we'll be here 10 Eastern. Appreciate you sliding by, everybody. And we want to know, what do you think about this show? Drop a comment. Is there anything you want us to talk about, cover? For Cole, we're gonna leave the video that we were just talking about. We just dropped it in the comments. We're gonna leave it in the description of this video. Appreciate you guys sliding by. Potter, you got anything in closing?
Nope.
Then builders, keep building.
Game on.